My fiancée demanded I uninvite my daughter from our wedding. "It's her or me," she said. I replied, "I choose." Then I walked my daughter down the aisle at a completely different wedding I'd been planning for months. My ex-fiancée found out when she saw the photos. I, 52 male, lost my wife to ovarian cancer 9 years ago. We had one daughter together, now 26. After my wife passed, I threw myself into being both parents to a grieving teenager. It wasn't easy, but we got through it together. My daughter is my world. She's smart, kind, and has her mother's laugh. She's also engaged to a great guy she met in grad school, and they've been planning their wedding for the past 8 months. 3 years ago, I started dating again. Met my fiancée through a mutual friend at a charity auction. She was charming, well-dressed, seemed sophisticated. We dated for 2 years before I proposed. Looking back, I should have paid more attention to the red flags, but loneliness makes you blind to things you don't want to see. The issue started small. Comments about how often my daughter called. Eye rolls when I mentioned helping her with something. She's an adult. She should handle her own problems. That kind of thing. I chalked it up to adjustment. My fiancée never had kids, so maybe she just didn't understand the bond. Then my daughter got engaged last year. Her fiancé is a software engineer, solid guy, treats her like gold. When she asked me to walk her down the aisle and give a speech, I cried like a baby. My late wife should have been there to see this, but at least I could be. My fiancé's reaction? Well, I hope this doesn't interfere with our wedding planning. We'd set our date for October. My daughter's wedding was planned for September, 1 month before ours. I saw no conflict, plenty of time, but my fiancé saw it differently. It started with passive-aggressive comments. "You're spending more time on our wedding than OURS. You're paying for her photographer, but we can't upgrade our venue. Your priorities are clearly elsewhere." For context, I own a small HVAC business that does well. I'd set aside $40,000 for my daughter's wedding years ago. It was something my wife and I had planned together before she got sick. That money was always earmarked for our girl. My fiancé knew this from the beginning. Our wedding budget was separate, $35,000, which I was also covering entirely since my fiancé had gone through a bankruptcy 4 years ago and was still rebuilding. She contributed nothing financially, but had very strong opinions about everything. 3 weeks ago, things came to a head. We were going over seating charts for our October wedding when my fiancé suddenly put down her wine glass and said, "I've been thinking, your daughter shouldn't come to our wedding." I actually laughed. Thought she was joking. She wasn't. I'm serious. She's never accepted me. She's always competing for your attention. I don't want that energy on the most important day of my life. She's my daughter. She's in a wedding party. She's giving a reading. Then uninvite her. Tell her there was a change of plans. That's insane. I'm not doing that. Her face hardened. It's her or me. Choose. I looked at this woman I'd been planning to marry. The woman who'd never once asked about my late wife without a hint of jealousy in her voice. Who'd suggested I take down the family photos that included my daughter's mother. Who'd complained every single time I helped my daughter with anything. "I choose," I said quietly. She smiled, thinking she'd won. "I choose my daughter. We're done." Her smile vanished. "You can't be serious." I've never been more serious in my life. "Get your things and get out of my house." She sputtered, cried, accused me of never really loving her, said I was choosing a grown adult who should be independent over the woman who was going to be your wife. I just repeated, "Get out." She left that night, packed 2 suitcases, and went to stay with her sister. What she doesn't know, what nobody knows except my daughter and her fiancé, is that I'd already been planning an exit strategy for months. See, about 4 months ago, something happened that made me realize I could never marry this woman. My daughter came to me privately, in tears. She told me that my fiancé had cornered her at a family dinner and said, "Once we're married, things are going to change. Your father will finally put his wife first, the way he should. You need to start distancing yourself now, or you're going to be disappointed." My daughter didn't want to cause drama before my wedding. She was going to just pull back, suffer in silence, to make me happy. That's when I knew. I didn't confront my fiancé immediately. Instead, I started planning. I told my daughter we were going to make her September wedding absolutely perfect, and that I'd be walking her down the aisle as a single man. I secretly began disengaging from my October wedding. I stopped putting deposits down on anything new. I let the venues and vendors we'd already booked know that there might be changes. I moved money around. When my fiancée gave me that ultimatum 3 weeks ago, she thought she had leverage. She thought I'd never choose anyone over her. She was wrong. In 2 weeks, I'm walking my daughter down the aisle at the most beautiful wedding I could help create. The venue is a restored barn on a vineyard, my daughter's dream. The photographer is the same one who shot my wedding to her mother 28 years ago. Everything is paid for, everything is planned, and it's going to be perfect. My ex-fiancée still doesn't know any of this. She thinks the October wedding is just postponed while we work things out. She's been texting, alternating between apologetic and angry. I've been giving minimal responses, just enough to keep her from causing chaos before my daughter's big day. After the wedding, I'll make the break clean and permanent. But for now, I'm focused on what matters. Being there for my daughter the way I promised her mother I always would be. Update 1, 1 week later. Things got messy, eh? Let me catch you all up. After I asked my ex-fiancée to leave, she didn't go quietly. She went to her sister's place, but the text started immediately. Night 1, I'm sorry I was stressed. Let's talk about this. Day 2, you're overreacting. All couples fight. Day 3, fine, your daughter can come, but I want her role reduced. She can be a guest, not in the wedding party. Day 4, why aren't you responding properly? This is emotional abuse. Day 5, my sister thinks you're a narcissist. She's probably right. Day 6, I left my vintage jewelry box at your house. I'm coming to get it Saturday. I responded to that last one. I'll leave it on the porch. Don't ring the bell. She showed up Saturday. Didn't take the hint about the doorbell. Pounded on my door at 9 a.m. I opened it slightly, chain still on. We need to talk, she said. She was dressed up, full makeup, clearly expecting to come inside and work things out. There's nothing to talk about. Your box is right there. I pointed to the porch table. You can't throw away 3 years over one fight. It wasn't one fight. It was 3 years of you resenting my daughter for existing. The ultimatum was just the final straw. I never said I hate her. I just wanted boundaries. You told her to distance herself from me, or she'd be disappointed. That's not boundaries. That's manipulation. Her face went pale. She didn't. No, my daughter had told me. She's lying. She's always been jealous of me. She's not the jealous one. Goodbye. I closed the door. She stood on the porch for another 10 minutes, crying, knocking, pleading. Eventually, she left. But that wasn't the end. The next day, I started getting calls from her family. Her sister told me I was cruel and leading her on. Her mother, a woman I'd met exactly twice, left a voicemail calling me a cold-hearted man who doesn't deserve a good woman. Then came the mutual friends. Our mutual friend, the one who'd introduced us, called me to get my side of the story. I told her the basics, ultimatum about my daughter. I chose my daughter, we're done. But she's so upset, the friend said. Can't you at least talk to her? Maybe therapy? She told me to choose between her and my only child. That's not something therapy fixes. She was just venting. Women say things they don't mean. She meant it. She's been building to this for years. I'm done. The friend told me I was being harsh and that she hoped I'd reconsider. Meanwhile, the actual important stuff was happening. My daughter's wedding was coming together beautifully. The final dress fitting was last week. She looked exactly like her mother at our wedding, and I had to step outside for a minute to compose myself. The caterer confirmed the menu. The fluorescent sample photos. The string quartet we hired, the one she'd dreamed about since she was a little girl watching wedding videos, confirmed their set list. I wrote my father of the bride speech. 3 drafts so far. Every time I try to read it out loud, I choke up at the part about her mother. My ex-fiancée, meanwhile, has escalated to a new tactic, the accidental run-in. She showed up at my regular coffee shop Tuesday morning. What a coincidence. Big smile. Sat down at my table uninvited. I don't want to talk. Just coffee. As friends. We can be mature about this, can't we? We're not friends. We're not anything. Please leave. You're being so cold. Is this really how you want things to end? You ended things when you tried to make me choose between you and my daughter. I said I was sorry. You said she could be reduced to a guest. That's not an apology. That's negotiating. She stared at me. What do you want from me? I want you to leave me alone. I want you to stop showing up at places I go. I want you to accept that this is over. Fine. She stood up, grabbed her purse. But you're going to regret this. You're going to be alone forever, and your daughter is going to move on with her life, and you'll have nobody. I'll have my daughter, and in a week, I'll have a son-in-law who treats her like gold. That's more than enough. She stormed out. 1 week until the wedding. I just have to keep her at bay for 7 more days. Update 2, 3 days before the wedding. Quick update because things have gotten intense. My ex-fiancé found out about my daughter's wedding date. Not the details, just that it's happening this Saturday. I don't know how. Maybe through mutual friends, checking social media. Maybe through her own snooping. Doesn't matter. What matters is what she did with that information. She called me last night, voice dripping with fake sweetness. I heard your daughter's getting married this weekend. That's so exciting. I said nothing. Just waited. I was thinking, since our wedding is postponed anyway, maybe I could come? As a gesture of goodwill? Show your daughter I really do support her. The audacity. The absolute audacity. You're not invited. But I could be your +1. It would show everyone we're working things out. We're not working things out. We're done. And you will not be at my daughter's wedding. You can't just exclude me. I was going to be her stepmother. You tried to have her excluded from our wedding. You don't get to show up at hers. She switched tactics immediately. Tears. Please. I know I made mistakes. But let me fix this. Let me show her I care. I'll apologize to her directly in front of everyone. It'll be beautiful. Absolutely not. This conversation is over. You're going to regret this. I could make things very difficult for you. Are you threatening me? I'm just saying, people talk. Story spread. Your business depends on your reputation in this community. How would it look if people knew you abandoned your fiancé right before your wedding? I was quiet for a moment. Then, you want to know what would really hurt my reputation? If people found out my fiancé threatened my daughter and told her to distance herself from her own father. Plenty of witnesses at that family dinner. You weren't as subtle as you thought. Silence. Sleep well. I hung up, but I'd be lying if I said I wasn't worried. She knows people in this community. She volunteers at the country club, serves on a local charity board. She could absolutely spread stories. So I called my lawyer first thing this morning. Just a consultation, $400 for an hour of his time, but worth it. He advised me to document everything. Texts, voicemails, the coffee shop ambush, the phone call threatening my reputation. Just in case. He also reminded me that defamation requires actual damages. So even if she talks, I need to prove it hurt my business. Small-town dynamics are tricky. But here's the thing. I don't care anymore. Let her talk. I've been in this community for 30 years. I've fixed people's heating systems in the middle of January for cost when they couldn't afford full price. I've donated equipment to the high school. I've shown up. If she wants to poison that well, she's going to find it's a lot deeper than she thought. 3 days until my daughter's wedding. Final walkthrough with the venue is tomorrow. Rehearsal dinner is Friday. Saturday is the big day. My suit is pressed. My speech is memorized. The weather forecast says partly cloudy, 72 degrees. Perfect. My ex-fiancé sent one more text this morning. You'll see. Nobody throws me away. I didn't respond. Final update. The day after. It's Sunday morning. I'm sitting on my back porch with coffee, watching the sunrise, and I'm the happiest I've been in years. Let me tell you about yesterday. The wedding was perfect. Actually, beyond perfect. The kind of day where everything just works. The venue looked stunning. Fairy lights strung through the barn rafters, wildflowers everywhere, that golden September light coming through the big windows. My daughter had her mother's veil, carefully preserved, and when I saw her in the bridal suite, I completely lost it. Happy tears. The ugly cry kind. Dad, you gotta ruin your makeup, she joked. I wasn't wearing makeup. She knows this. The ceremony was outdoors, under an old oak tree. When the music started and I took her arm, she squeezed my hand and whispered, Mom would be so proud. I couldn't speak, just nodded. Walking her down that aisle, seeing her fiancé's face light up when he saw her, listening to them exchange vows they'd written themselves. It was everything a father could hope for. My speech went well. Made it through most of it before my voice cracked. Got a standing ovation from some of the tables, which was embarrassing, but also kind of nice. I talked about her mother, about the day she was born, about watching her grow into this incredible woman. I welcomed my new son-in-law to our family and told him I trusted him with my most precious treasure. My daughter cried. Her new husband cried. Half the room was in tears. It was perfect. And then there's the part you've been waiting for. My ex-fiancé found out about the wedding. Not just the date, the whole thing. The photos, the videos, the social media posts. See, my daughter's wedding party posted to Instagram during the reception. Pictures of the venue, the decor, my daughter looking radiant, me walking her down the aisle. Beautiful stuff. Within an hour, my phone started buzzing. Text from my ex-fiancé's sister. Did you seriously get married without telling anyone? I ignored it. We were in the middle of the father-daughter dance. Then, from our mutual friend, wait, what wedding is this? I thought October was your date. I ignored that too. First dance with my daughter, and I was not missing a second of it. By the time the reception was in full swing, dancing, drinking, my new son-in-law's college buddies doing something questionable on the dance floor. My phone had 23 notifications. Most of them were from my ex-fiancé. Whose wedding is this? You're there in a suit, walking someone down the aisle. Is that your daughter? You planned her wedding this whole time? And finally, the one that made me actually laugh out loud. I thought you were planning our wedding when you were planning hers. That's why you were so busy. This is betrayal. I show my daughter. She laughed so hard she snorted champagne. She thinks you planning my wedding is betrayal? After she tried to uninvite me from yours? Apparently so. The absolute audacity of that woman. We clinked glasses. Later that night, after the sparkler send-off, after my daughter and her husband drove away in their decorated car, after the last guest had stumbled off to their hotel, I finally sat down and read through all the messages. My ex-fiancé had, predictably, gone ballistic. She'd contacted everyone she could think of to share her outrage. Her sister messaged me calling me a sneaky, manipulative man. Her mother left a voicemail saying I'd humiliated her daughter publicly. Our mutual friend sent a long text about how hurt my ex-fiancé was that I'd been secretly working against her. I read them all. Then I typed one response, addressed to my ex-fiancé directly, and CC'd everyone who'd contacted me. For clarification, I walked my daughter down the aisle at her wedding yesterday. The wedding I've been helping plan for months, with money I set aside years ago. My daughter's wedding was always scheduled for September. Our wedding, which I canceled after you demanded I uninvite my only child, was scheduled for October. There was no secret. There was no betrayal. You gave me an ultimatum. Choose you or choose my daughter. I chose my daughter. I will always choose my daughter. Please stop contacting me. Sent. The responses were immediate and exactly what I expected. My ex-fiancé. This isn't over. Her sister. You're sick. Her mother. How dare you air family business publicly? Our mutual friend. I think I need to stay out of this. That last one made me smile. Yes, you probably should have stayed out of it from the beginning. This morning, I woke up to one final message from my ex-fiancé. It was long, really long, and I skimmed most of it. The highlights. I wasted 3 years of her life. I was emotionally unavailable because I'm still hung up on my dead wife. I'm going to die alone surrounded by cats. My daughter manipulated me against her. She's talking to a lawyer about something. She wasn't specific. I didn't respond. Let me tell you where things actually stand. The October wedding is officially canceled. I already called the venue last week to let them know. Lost the deposit, $3,500, but honestly, small price to pay. The other vendors got canceled too. Some were understanding. Some kept non-refundable deposits. Total loss, about $8,000. Worth every penny. My ex-fiancé's stuff is being boxed up by a moving company I hired. They'll deliver it to her sister's house on Tuesday. She won't be allowed in my home again. My lawyer is on standby in case she actually does try something legal, but he says she has no grounds for anything. We weren't married. We didn't have shared assets. She contributed nothing financially. If anything, he said, I could pursue her for harassment if she keeps contacting me. I blocked her number this morning, blocked her sister, blocked her mother, blocked anyone who seemed inclined to carry messages for her. My peace is not up for negotiation. As for my daughter, she and her husband are on their honeymoon, flying to Portugal for 2 weeks. She texted me from the airport this morning. Thanks for the best day of my life, Dad. Mom will be so proud of you. I cried a little. Happy tears. Somebody asked me earlier if I feel guilty about how this played out. About leading my ex-fiancée on by not immediately ending things when I decided to leave. Here's my answer. No. When she told my daughter to start distancing herself now, she revealed who she really was. Not just to me, to my daughter, who had done nothing wrong except exist and be loved by her father. I could have confronted her then. We could have had the big dramatic fight months ago. But then what? Drama leading up to my daughter's wedding? Stress during what should be the happiest time of her life? A bitter ex trying to sabotage things out of spite? No. I protected my daughter's peace. I let her plan her wedding without worrying about my mess. I made sure her day was perfect, and then, only then, did I let the chips fall. My ex-fiancée thought she could force me to choose. She thought I was so afraid of being alone that I'd sacrifice my relationship with my daughter to keep her. She was wrong. I've been alone before. I was alone for 4 years after my wife died, and I was okay. I raised a daughter who turned into an incredible woman. I built a business. I have friends, family, a life I'm proud of. I don't need a partner to complete me. I wanted one, and I thought I'd found one, but the second she came for my daughter, all bets were off. Some people are asking what I'm going to do now. Honestly, I'm going to finish my coffee. I'm going to enjoy this beautiful Sunday morning. Later, I might go to the office and catch up on some work. We got a big commercial job starting next month. Tonight, I'll probably call my daughter to hear about their first day in Portugal. Maybe I'll look through the wedding photos the photographer previewed on his website. And at some point, I'll take down the family photos my ex-fiancée always complained about, the ones with my late wife in them, and I'll put them back exactly where they belong. Front and center, where they should have been all along. Life goes on. My daughter is happy. My heart is full. That's all that matters.